Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the emotional but ultimately heartwarming Grey's Anatomy scenes that had us smiling through tears. Be warned, this list is full of spoilers.
He's very dreamy, but he is not the son. You are.
Number 20, Baseball Celebration. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Season 6 began with a whopper of a change for our physicians. The merger between Seattle Grace and Mercy West brought with it a whole new set of challenges, characters, and exits in the form of hospital-wide layoffs. We got a brief moment to see the characters exist outside the sterile walls of work when Derek, Mark, and Owen dragged Meredith, Christina, and Lexi out for a late-night athletic outing.
Stop worrying.
I'm sorry, I don't have time for games. I have to get back to the hospital.
She's right, she does have to go back to the hospital.
We're not going to talk about the hospital. We're here to play baseball.
And drink beer.
Our favourite doctors are given so few chances to unwind, and some, especially Christina, don't even really know how. But watching them come together over a baseball game offered us a rare and brief glimpse of a world where they get to be content for a little while.
Because the only cure for paranoia is to be here.
Number 19, Meredith knows who Joe is. 1-800-799-7233. Haunted by an abusive husband, Dr. Joe Wilson lived in fear that he might find her, and in this episode, her worst nightmare came true. Unfortunately, her ex, Paul, is a doctor himself.
Your looks will fade, and you'll be left with the truth. You point fingers at everyone else around you, but you're the monster.
Security to the residence lounge on 3, stat.
Meredith and Joe didn't exactly have the easiest friendship. No matter where they stood personally though, operating next to Paul is a trying experience for Meredith. She also made a point to deny all of Paul's attempts to turn their Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital colleagues against Joe.
You are Joe Wilson. I know exactly who you are.
On a grander scale, it was the show itself honouring a commitment to believe victims in poignant fashion. Number 18, April and Jackson run away together. Get up, stand up, and take it back.
I love you, April. I always have. I love everything about you. Even the things I don't like, I love.
Dr. April Kepner was a goody two-shoes to the nth degree. She's not the kind of person to leave a man at the altar, but when Dr. Jackson Avery interrupted her wedding to Matthew the paramedic, the two ran off together like a couple at the end of a classic movie. Whether it's the grandness of the gesture or the acoustic version of Total Eclipse of the Heart playing over the scene, it's an unforgettable moment of peak romance.
Every now and then I fall apart, and I need you now tonight, and I need you more than ever.
Who cares that April started panicking after running off with him afterward? For a brief moment, everything was perfect. Perfect for them, at least. Matthew didn't have a great time. Number 17, The House of Candles. Freedom. If you couldn't tell by the babbling, Meredith Grey's therapy was going well. She had finally untied some emotional knots left behind by her mother and was ready to commit to a relationship with Derek. Rather than just tell him, because that'd be no fun, she decided to make a big, corny, romantic gesture.
And I was just gonna tell you that this over here is our kitchen, and this is our living room. And over there, that's the room where our kids could play.
She arranged candles into a makeshift floor plan on the spot where Derek wanted to build their house. Her speech about being extraordinary together instead of being ordinary apart became a touchstone for them as their relationship changed and matured.
And I don't know if I trust you. I want to trust you, but I don't know if I do, so I'm just going to try. I'm going to try and trust you because I believe that we can be extraordinary together rather than ordinary apart.
It's hard not to tear up watching it all unfold. Number 16, Joe and Alex finally get married. All of me. Perhaps no Grey's wedding went as wrong as Joe and Alex's, and that's saying something. There have been cold feet, interruptions, and people left at the altar, but this was a cut above. It took a lot for their relationship to get off the ground in the first place, and the nuptials were no different.
By the power vested in me by the internet.
By the power vested in me and with God's abundant blessings, I pronounce you husband and wife.
I now pronounce you married.
But for all it took to get there, the final result had Meredith becoming the impromptu officiant and the two finally tying the knot on a ferry boat. It was a perfectly fitting, moving ceremony for a group of people constantly being put through the ringer, only to come out stronger on the other side.
You need someone who will show up, no questions asked, and walk with you through every unexpected twist and turn life throws your way.
Number 15, PostIt note wedding. Now or never. Between George O'Malley's bus accident and Izzy's brain tumour, you'd think the tears in this episode would all be the most gut-wrenching kind. But even in all that sadness, the show still found a way to put a neat little bow on the story of Meredith and Derek. The two planned to slip out away to City Hall to get married, but life and patience kept getting in the way.
Every day there's a crisis. There's no time.
Meredith.
I love you, and I do want to marry you today, but there is no time.
Rather than wait for the legal documents, they put their impromptu, unofficial but beautiful wedding vows on a post-it note. It wasn't a marriage license, but the two realised they didn't need to make it legal right this second. If they're this certain, they're in it for the long haul.
See that? Plenty of time.
Number 14, Callie gets custody of Sophia. Family affair. Watching two beloved characters break up and endure a nasty divorce is one thing. Their child being caught up in the middle is another thing. Fans may have had their favourite in Arizona Robbins and Callie Torres split, but truth be told, no one thought Sophia should be taken from either of her mothers.
Hey, Mama!
Hi! What's going on?
Plane tickets.
Arizona may have won custody of their daughter, but rather than remaining bitter, she surprised Callie with a change of heart. Co-parenting will be better for all of them.
Sophia deserves to have two happy moms. I'm saying, let's all be happy.
Who wouldn't choke up at the sight of absolute relief and gratitude on Callie's face? Number 13, Meredith reunites with Derek. Various. Longtime fans looked forward to season 17 with bated breath. It was the COVID season, but it was also the season many past performers would return to Meredith Grey's life. As she lay in a hospital bed, struggling to survive the devastating virus, she drifted to an imaginary beach where she got closure with characters who had previously died.
The sand isn't real, Meredith!
I miss you!
I know!
But it was seeing her deceased husband throughout that made it all worth it. Their reunion was so full of love and childlike wonder, and their subsequent conversations and eventual goodbye, while not always easy, were hopeful. It almost made us forget all they had been through. Or maybe it's because they'd been through so much that seeing them happy again was too much to take.
You said it wasn't real!
Everything is lost, I know.
I hate you!
You love me! God knows I love you. I'll be right here when you're ready.
Number 12, Bailey wins the Catherine Fox Award. Happily ever after? Dr. Miranda Bailey is the glue that keeps this whole show together. She's shown initiative when trying to keep her practice responsive and adaptable to changing healthcare needs. In later seasons, she responded to a very real reproductive care crisis, doing things like training doctors to perform life-saving procedures. When she was tapped to present the prestigious Catherine Fox Award, she had no idea she was being tricked.
Dr. Miranda Bailey, we would love to present you with the Catherine Fox Award for your significant contribution to medicine this year.
Though not a nominee, she became the surprise recipient, and who better to present the award than one of her original interns, Meredith. She was overcome with emotion, and so were we, because she was finally getting the recognition she has always deserved.
Okay. Oh my gosh. You've been such a long year. Okay.
Number 11, Derek's elevator proposal. Elevator love letter. Much of Meredith and Derek's relationship was unconventional. From loaded elevator meetings to tense post-quarrelling teamwork on the job, they carved out a particular and unique bond. In season 5, they made things official. Instead of a sappy flowers and bended knee proposal, Derek made their engagement about the thing most important to them, the medicine.
You get the rest of us to move forward. Because you've seen worse. You've survived worse. And you know we'll survive too.
He papered over the entire elevator with scans and other mementos from the many cases they'd worked on together. It was a testament to how much better they could be together than apart, something Meredith told him when she finally committed to being with him.
And I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
Number 10, Richard and Catherine's wedding. You're my home.
I will provide a safe harbor.
These two fight hard, but they aren't afraid to love even harder. We've known Richard for a long time. We've seen him mentor future generations of doctors, break down racial barriers, struggle with substance use, lose his wife, and in the end, we just want him to be happy. Catherine is more than a match for him. She's a legend in her own right, and more importantly, she loves him.
I do.
And Catherine?
I do forever.
Their wedding was passionate and sincere, representing a promise made by two people who've both experienced pain but are excited for their future together.
Then by the power vested in me by the state of Washington, I now pronounce you husband and wife.
Number 9, Callie and Arizona's wedding. White wedding. They may not be together anymore, but their time in the sun was beautiful.
I choose you to be the one with whom I spend my life.
We love the LGBTQIA+ representation, and creator Shonda Rhimes wanted to do it right, since same-sex marriage wasn't legal in the United States yet when this episode aired. The entire wedding was an outpouring of love. Both brides were glowing and happy, and Bailey even officiated.
I love you.
Callie's mom unfortunately didn't support the marriage and chose not to come, but her dad returned in time for some tear-jerking words and their father-daughter dance.
I've been looking forward to dancing with you on your wedding day since I first held you into my arms.
Number 8, Alex and Izzys' wedding. What a difference a day makes. Sometimes tragedy and joy walk hand in hand, and the end result is a lot of confused crying.
No.
It was supposed to be Derek and Meredith's wedding, but Izzy's cancer is advancing and spreading, so they gave their wedding day to Izzy and Alex. Already, emotions were high.
I don't even know. Thank you.
And when Izzy started walking down the aisle, it was almost too much to handle, especially when George helped her. And then we got to the vows. It was impossible to keep dry eyes as Alex spoke, promising to be there for her and ready for anything life throws their way.
Today's the day my life begins.
Number 7, Bailey becoming chief of surgery, walking tall. When we first met Miranda Bailey, she was a little bit terrifying, and that's putting it nicely.
I have 5 rules, memorize them. Rule number 1, don't bother sucking up. I already hate you, that's not gonna change.
Over the years, however, her tough exterior revealed a warm and caring woman with drive we want to root for. We saw her struggle and work hard, so when she finally became chief of surgery, it was easy to cheer and wipe our eyes along with her.
Tomorrow, I will be better.
Especially when Richard passed on his stethoscope and told her all the reasons she's perfect for the job.
They are generals. veterans. They know how to mobilize. What they need is a leader.
She was also a trailblazer, becoming the first female chief in the history of the hospital, and we couldn't imagine a more deserving woman.
So I looked it up, and Bailey's the first.
First what?
First female chief of surgery of this hospital.
Number 6, Meredith's pregnancy announcement. I was made for loving you. After Meredith had a miscarriage and was diagnosed with an unreceptive uterus, she assumed she couldn't get pregnant. But sometimes good things come to those who least expect it. When Meredith got pregnant, she got a World's Best Big Sister shirt for Zola, and Derek's reaction was perfect.
What is this? Why not believe it? Really? Who doesn't want more romance in their life?
He was super happy and his usual optimistic self as he reassured Meredith that good things happen to them.
Don't worry. And good things happen to us. We're gonna have another baby.
It was a beautiful and intimate moment, and by the end, they just giggled and hugged at the thought of another baby coming into their lives. Number 5, April has her baby, family affair. It will take us a while to get over the death of Jackson and April's first baby, Samuel, but this is a happy list.
He squeezed my finger. And then he let go.
Jackson and April had one last fling before they divorced, and April got pregnant, this time with a very healthy little girl.
She's healthy and fat. Fat baby. Fat baby.
Harriet's birth was less than ideal, with a traumatic home C-section.
Okay. So I need a C-section. As soon as possible.
And April nearly lost her life in order to bring her into the world. Once things settled down though, seeing Jackson and April finally happy with a little bundle in their arms was exactly what our hearts needed. Number 4, Christina's speech to Meredith, fear of the unknown. Goodbyes are always bittersweet, and this one will have you grabbing tissues. Christina and Meredith have been BFF goals since the day they met. They've been through it all together, including natural disasters, love, and heartache.
Do you realize this constitutes hugging?
Shut up. I'm your person.
We thought the Twisted Sisters would be side by side forever, but then Christina got an amazing opportunity in Switzerland.
She's visiting a hospital in Switzerland?
She's what?
Christina's parting speech to Meredith was, well, beautiful. She reminded Mare how special she is and how she makes her brave.
You're my person. I need you alive. You make me brave.
And at the end of the speech, they danced it out one last time.
Now we dance it out.
Number 3, renaming the hospital, Transplant Wasteland. If this show has taught us anything, it's that in the face of tragedy, the only thing we can do is rise above the ashes and make life meaningful.
Lex. I'm still in love with you. I tried not to be.
That's exactly what the medical staff did after the plane accident that took the lives of Mark Sloan and Lexi Gray. When Seattle Grace Mercy West Hospital became owned by the doctors that worked there, Jackson proposed a new name, Gray Sloan Memorial Hospital.
All in favor?
Aye.
A fitting tribute to 2 amazing doctors and a constant reminder of what the hospital should stand for.
I propose that we give this hospital a name that can honor the very reason we've come together and been able to do this.
Number 2, Meredith winning the Harper Avery Award. Who lives, who dies, who tells your story? All Meredith's life, she lived in her mother's shadow. Alice Gray was a world-renowned surgeon, won 2 Harper Avery Awards, and had high expectations for her daughter. Meredith felt inadequate and suffocated by her mother's legacy until her successful abdominal wall transplant.
Would you look at that? That is a perfect fit.
It was a groundbreaking operation that got Meredith her own Harper Avery and the sense of accomplishment she'd been searching for.
The Harper Avery for Surgical Innovation goes to Dr. Meredith Gray.
She was too busy operating to accept the award herself, but Jackson's emotional speech on her behalf evoked all the feelings.
And she managed to share that joy through her spirit of discovery and of possibility and of hope right in the face of darkness.
When she looked up to the gallery, Mare saw her family, peers, and the proud ghost of Ellis Gray.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Meredith and Derek adopt Zola, suddenly. From the moment Derek and Meredith laid eyes on baby Zola in the hospital, she had them hook, line and sinker. They were hopelessly in love with her and talked about adopting her soon after meeting her.
I looked down at Zola. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't imagine her being with any other parent or any other family. We've been trying so hard to start a family, and she needs one. Let's adopt her.
They even rushed to get married to get her, but of course things couldn't be too easy for them. They almost lost Zola when she got sick.
Itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout.
And a social worker even told them the adoption was unlikely when Mare lied about their marital status. Things were grim until the fateful moment when there was a knock on the door, and it was Zola. The moment Meredith and Derek became parents.
Derek?
Yes.
Is that our baby?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Which Grey's moments gave you all the feels? Tell us in the comments.
I don't know what it's like to have a father, but I do know what it's like to have a sister, and it's good.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.